like I came from the generation where you had to work. I had to build a relationship with a plug, or I had to camp out, or I had to line up, or I
Yeah.
had to know someone that told me the exact time to go in.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the SoleSavy Podcast. I'm very excited to talk to Garry here. He's going to introduce himself in a second, but anytime we can speak with a true sneakerhead who's working in this space, it's always exciting to pick their brain and learn a little bit about what's going on. Garry, how you doing, man?
Everything's good, man. I appreciate y'all having me. This is an honor. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tell the people who might not be familiar with you, who you are, what you do, and anything that can help us, set the tone.
Absolutely. Hey everybody, I am Garry Thaniel. I work for eBay, where I am the general manager of sneakers and now streetwear. Been a longtime sneakerhead. We'll get into my story, but it's something I've been passionate about for a long time. So the opportunity to be on the podcast is just an honor. Reside right now in the Bay Area, but I'm an East Coast boy, originally from Baltimore. Spent most of my adult years in New York, which has great sneaker culture as well. But living out here
Yep.
in the Bay, which is beautiful right now. It's been raining a little bit, so I'm not used to that. So needless to say, my J's haven't touched cement in a while because can't break your commandments. But
No, you
but
can't.
excited to be here with y'all right now.
Let's start with your sneaker origin story, because everyone has a moment, a memory, a shoe, something that always sticks with them and that they resonate with. Like, this is why I love sneakers and the culture surrounding it.
All right, so I always tell everyone the sneaker is a shoe that like everybody kind of knows and remembers. So my sneaker origin story started with the Concord Jordan 11 when it was released in the mid 90s. So
Yep.
15-ish years old, not quite 16 yet. I was one that was like, hey, I really want some sneakers, really want these sneakers, really want these sneakers. You need to get me these sneakers. Up until that point, I had played like a lot of sports. You guys, big guy, I played football, hooped a little bit, and also did track. So I never had a job. So my mom one day looks at me, she's like, look, if you want those sneakers, I just bought you a pair of sneakers a couple of weeks ago. She actually didn't say sneakers. In Baltimore, we call them tennis shoes. We said, you
Yeah.
want a pair of tennis, then you need to go get a job. So me being the big, bold 15-year-old I am, I was like, I'll go get a job. Like, I'm getting my sneakers, blah, blah, blah. So I go
Yeah.
and I get a job at McDonald's,
Okay.
working the weekend shift in the morning. And it was the hardest month of work that I ever had in my life, because it was exactly 1 month. I got enough for my J's and I got out. Like, but I got my J's. That's what I can say. I got my J's. And like
Hmm.
I always tell people, like one of the things, like I love the Concord 11, but one of the things that will always endear to me is what I had to go through to get that shoe. Like, and
Right.
like I came from the generation where you had to work. I had to build a relationship with a plug, or I had to camp out, or I had to line up, or I
Yeah.
had to know someone that told me the exact time to go in. So
Yeah.
when it comes to like this, and I'm not knocking, I'm not trying to sound like, oh man, I used to walk to school barefoot or whatever.
You're
Like,
you're you're
I'm not
yelling at
saying
the
everybody
clouds.
has to have that story. I'm just saying, like, I came from that generation where you had to
Yeah.
go extra, but I also know the convenience of now of, look, I was on the app and I was able to get it, or I went on eBay, shout out to my platform, and was able to get
Or
it.
are you or
um
are you Soul Savvy? Shout out to Soul
or
Savvy.
shout out to SoleSavy. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I know that it's like, the convenience of the now. You'll never forget, the grind that you went through,
Mm.
knowing that you had to go through that grind at one point, like makes you further endear yourself to those kicks.
Yeah, and that's I think a lot of people come from that era, and it's also in turn their frustration with the current era of sneakers. But I think that's one of the positive things that has come from not convenience, but the ease of accessibility, the opportunity to buy something online, has allowed the sneaker culture to grow and the industry to grow. That there's a lot more people wearing shoes, and it's now acceptable to wear sneakers, wear Jordan ones with dress pants and a dress shirt, because hey, it's fashion and style, which is, I love to see it, but comes with the pain points of, as we see today, as the recording November 8th. the Lost and Found Jordan 1s came out, and Nike did it, the early access, by saying you had to take 20 L's on sneakers for Jordan 1s, which is quite a number.
20 L's is a lot of L's, man. Like I've taken a lot of
Yeah.
L's on sneakers over the last like year and a half. I am the person who like I'll take an L, I'll do my affirmations. I'm smart, I'm important, like I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll do my and then I'll get over it, right? That is how I am. So
Yeah.
I had to go back. I was like, have I taken 20 L's? Like 20 L's is a lot of L's.
What's your collection like right now? And did you ever condense? Because I hear that story a lot of times from people who have been collecting shoes for multiple decades, 15 plus years. I'm nearing that consolidation phase. I've now hit 600. I promised my wife I'll get down to 500. Where are you at in your sneaker journey?
So I'm probably around like low twos. So call it 220 to 240. I don't have an exact.
Well curated.
Well curated. And I think like I think at this point, I would like to settle around a nice curated collection of, I would say 150 to 175. Like super tight, which sounds ridiculous to anyone who's not in this world. Super tight. Like I can go in. I feel like 150 to 175. I won't forget. I won't forget I have something. But I'll also like, like at eBay, I am like what I like to call, unfortunately, I've become the sneaker police. Like the first time you meet people in an office or setting, the first thing they do is look down at your feet. Like I'm the sneaker guy. Like they're just like,
absolutely.
They'll say hi to me. And then the first thing they do is look at my feet. So I can't have I can't just be like, I was running an errand. So I just had to, if I run into someone at the mall that works at eBay, they're just going to be like, so is our sneaker guy not coming with it?
So here's my challenge to you. That sounds like you need 365 pairs, not 175.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like 175 give me a little bit of flexibility, but like I also know that like it's not going to be a permanent 175. Like I'm going to have a little bit of like set and then rotation. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty. Like I look at like I love everything that like the I'm My Air team is doing, right? And every time they come out with something, I'm like, I want it and I need to get it. And like and then the story behind it, and I was at I was at Black Footwear Forum and had a chance to like connect with James, and just like his story as well is like I want to support him, I want to support that. But also then I look and it's just like everything they do is dope. Like even if there wasn't a story behind it, which there is, the dopeness of the shoe you want to get behind as well.
Let's talk a little bit about your career, how you got to eBay. I'm going to imagine growing up you weren't like, I'm going to work in sneakers, or maybe you did, but at the time, obviously there was much less opportunity. What does your career look like, and how did you get to this point of being the GM of eBay Sneakers and Streetwear now?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I mean, like for me, I didn't start my career thinking I was going to be in sneakers. I always tell people if I didn't know, like 5 years ago, I wouldn't have known I could have this role, because this role probably didn't, or not probably, but didn't exist 5 years ago. So, when I had the opportunity to go to college, when I was in college, I went to a session where I got a chance to meet the CEO of Lord & Taylor. So department store back east. And I ended up getting an internship, who the CEO to this day is still my mentor. And I got my first taste of like really being in retail. And I liked it because I like the whole general management aspect of it. So it's relationships. It's a little bit of finance and P&L management. It's fashion, it's aesthetic, it's some marketing and messaging. So all of a sudden, as I'm growing in my career, I get to a point where all of a sudden these opportunities start opening up for me to start, either consulting or advising for stuff that actually is my passion, which is sneakers and apparel. And I'm just like, wow, and I'm having various roles at this point. I had did some private equity work where I took over as a CEO of a bag company. I'd done management consulting, just like building what I like to call my toolkit. So, fast forward to, I want to say 2020, 2021, I'm seeing what eBay's doing. I'm fortunate because I know a couple people at the company. And I was like, look, I like what y'all doing. Like, you know, if there's ever any opportunities, like, let me know. And we had kind of like talked about a number of roles. And this is one of the things I always say, like, whether you get a job or you don't get a job, like always maintain relationships, because a no for a certain
Absolutely.
role doesn't mean a no forever. And I had interviewed at eBay, and there were some roles that weren't right for me. And then they came back and were like, hey, you know, this role opened up, and I reached out to some people and I was like, hey, I'm really interested in this role. So when I go into interview, it's not like I'm an unknown quantity. Like they know who I am. Like I'm interviewing with some of the same people. They're like, hey, it was really great talking to you before. Like, and I can actually now focus on not just introducing myself to them, but like telling them like why I think I'd be a great fit for this role and this opportunity. So, you know, eBay for me, and then I go on and obviously get the role and everything. So for me, it really was an opportunity to not only do something I'm super passionate about, which is like run business and be a GM, but also do it in a space that I love. Like this is, tell everyone, this is the most fun I've had in my career. Like I love where I'm at in my career, and I'm just thankful for the
Yeah,
opportunity.
you guys did.
Yeah,
I want to say it was in May. You
the man.
opened up a pop-up store in Fairfax Memorial Day long
Mm-hmm.
weekend. I loved the concept. Tell the people about that a little bit, and for me, it's like I don't think that exists without you at the helm going, how can we make this more fun for people and give back to the community?
Wear 'em out, what we did was we opened up the store on Fairfax right next to SoleSavy. Shout out to, you know, Eddie and Lane at SoleSavy. They're amazing partners with us in LA. And we had Offset curate the about 30 shoes. We did 3 days, 10 shoes a day, where we would give a special, you know, discount on the shoes if you did the wear 'em out path. So we had a cement, grass, and dirt sort of pathway that you would have to put the shoes on and walk over and then wear them out of the store to get the discount. And the reception that we got, I mean, we launched it on a Friday, we pulled up Thursday, and I thought something was wrong. I remember because we were right next to Soul Sage and we saw these guys outside with tents. So I look at Eddie and Lane, I was like, what is releasing tomorrow that people are lined up outside your store? And they were like, they're not lined up outside our store. They're lined up for wear them out. And I was just like, hold on. People are camping out for wear. Like, first of all, like camping out is like, if you camp out, like you have a special place in my heart if you're a camper. Like if you are camping out, like I respect that. So, and then we come back the next morning and we're doing all the stuff and the same people are there and we're getting pictures throughout the night. Like, yo, the line's getting longer, to the point that like, we're 2 blocks deep in a line on Fairfax, like for reception. And it wasn't just the first day. It was Friday, Saturday, it was Sunday. And it was just really an amazing opportunity for us to like show up for the community, engage, like, you know, such an important market like LA, but also just do something where we celebrate, you know, that feeling we all get where we, you know, when we rock our sneakers. And something that, you know, like as we think about Skate 'em Out, we saw some success with it. And we're just like, hey, like one of the things that we've been hearing from the community is when we doing another wear 'em out, when you doing another wear 'em out. So as we look at like, you know, 20th anniversary of Nike SB, as you look at the success of wear 'em out, it's sort of like, okay, you know, we think we had something really good with wear 'em out. We've been working with the SB team, and it's like what would be dope is to honor, you know, Sandy and the, you know, this iconic charity dunk, to do something with Bodecker Foundation where we embrace skateboard culture as well, and we're going to do a Skate 'em Out in Portland in December.
I appreciate you taking the time to join us. Let's wrap a little bit with kind of 2 questions.
Yep.
You know, focused on yourself and giving some guidance to the next era or the next generation of not even sneakerheads, business people, anyone looking to focus on a passion. One, what is some advice you'd give 19-year-old yourself, or really anyone in this industry? What would you tell them now if they're trying to get their careers going?
Yeah, I would say, particularly the early stages of your career, it can be,
Mhm.
I think, super difficult to see your end goal, like when you're kind of
Mhm.
going through it. And what I would say is stay focused on the bigger picture. One of the things I think that I was taught at an early stage, I really tried to embrace was like just build up your skill set. Like you're
Yep.
not, it's not like you're um
Be a
waste
sponge.
time or like you're yeah, be a sponge, and it's not like you'll waste time or it's not like any of your efforts in vain if you're continuing to develop yourself. Like that
Yep.
is one of the things I'll say. I don't think I'd be in the place in my career I am now if I hadn't done some stuff that and had some experience that may not at the time have tied perfectly, but in
Mhm.
retrospect it added to my toolkit of experiences where not only am I passionate about the job, I have the competency and the confidence to know I can do the job.
Gary, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you taking the time, and best luck with everything you do personally and professionally.
Awesome, DP. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on and join you. Safe travels, my friend. Looking forward to connecting with you a lot more often. And thank you and the SoleSavy community. What y'all are doing is super inspirational. Y'all are engaging a community and showing how the power of the sneaker community, and also how we can like support each other and make everything more
Mhm.
equitable and do it in a really dope and authentic way. So really appreciate you and the team, and thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.